Imagine waking up one day to find that your country, which has long been under the influence of foreign powers, has taken a bold step towards independence. This is the story of Niger, a nation that has decided to chart its own course, free from the constraints of Western military presence. The recent decision to request the departure of German military forces from their airbase in Niamey is a significant move, signaling a new chapter in Niger's history. But what does this mean for Niger's future? And how will this impact the delicate balance of power in the Sahel region? Germany's role in Niger has been relatively low-key but important, aimed at helping stabilize the Sahel region. The Bundeswehr, Germany's armed forces, operated a small airbase in Niamey, the capital. This base, staffed by 38 Bundeswehr soldiers and 33 workers from German and foreign companies, was crucial for evacuating German nationals from Africa and supporting various humanitarian missions. Germany's presence in Niger was part of a larger effort to tackle the many challenges in the Sahel, from insurgencies to political instability. The Bundeswehr's airbase in Niamey was essential for Germany's military and humanitarian operations in the region. It allowed for the safe evacuation of German nationals from crisis areas across Africa and served as a hub for coordinating and delivering humanitarian aid to conflict and disaster zones. This dual role highlighted the base's strategic importance not just for Germany, but for international efforts to stabilize the Sahel. In May, Germany and Niger reached an interim agreement allowing the Bundeswehr to continue its operations at the airbase until the end of August. This agreement provided temporary relief, but extending the Bundeswehr's presence proved challenging. A key issue was the legal immunity for the base's personnel, a standard provision that the new junta was unwilling to support. This refusal reflected broader tensions between the new regime and its Western counterparts, complicating efforts to maintain a cooperative relationship. According to Germany, the Bundeswehr's presence in Niger was more than just military and humanitarian missions. It was part of a broader strategy to support regional stability and counter violent extremism. The Sahel region, including Niger, has faced violent extremism and insurgencies that threaten both local populations and international security. Germany's efforts in Niger were aimed at addressing these threats, contributing to a comprehensive approach to regional stability. However, the changing political landscape in Niger made these efforts more difficult. The junta's pivot towards Russia and Iran introduced new challenges to Germany's operations and strategic goals. The refusal to grant legal immunity to Bundeswehr personnel was a sign of these broader issues, reflecting a growing divide between the new regime and its Western partners. But why did the negotiations between Germany and Niger break down? Throughout the summer, diplomats and military officials from both sides engaged in protracted discussions, attempting to find common ground on key issues. However, the talks were marred by a fundamental lack of alignment, with each side prioritizing different aspects of the agreement. The German Defense Ministry emphasized the importance of legal protections for its personnel, a standard provision in international military agreements. Without these legal safeguards, the continued presence of the Bundeswehr in Niger posed significant risks, not just for the personnel involved, but for Germany's broader strategic interests in the region. The issue of legal immunity became a major sticking point in the negotiations. For Germany, ensuring that its personnel were protected under international law was non-negotiable. This legal immunity is a standard provision in many military agreements, providing assurances that soldiers and support staff would not be subject to local judicial processes for actions taken in the course of their duties. However, the Nigerian junta, emboldened by its newfound alliances with Russia and Iran, was unwilling to concede on this point. As the negotiations dragged on, it became increasingly clear that a resolution was unlikely. The junta, confident in its pivot towards Russia and Iran, saw little benefit in accommodating Western military forces. This confidence was bolstered by promises of military and economic support from its new allies, which provided an alternative to the traditional reliance on Western aid and cooperation. For Germany, the situation grew untenable. Without the necessary legal safeguards, the continued presence of the Bundeswehr in Niger posed unacceptable risks, both legally and operationally. The breakdown in negotiations was not just about legal immunity. It reflected deeper strategic and political divergences. The Nigerian junta's alignment with Russia and Iran was part of a broader realignment in the Sahel region, where several countries were re-evaluating their relationships with traditional Western allies. This realignment had profound implications for regional stability and international security, complicating efforts to address the ongoing threats posed by jihadist groups. On a sweltering Saturday in late July, the German Defense Ministry made the official announcement. All Bundeswehr soldiers stationed at the Niamey Airbase would be withdrawn by August 31st, and German military cooperation with Niger would come to an end. What will the end of Germany and Niger ties mean for Niger? The departure of the Bundeswehr signifies a critical step towards reclaiming Niger's sovereignty. For decades, Western military presence has been justified under the guise of security and humanitarian aid, yet many argue that it has perpetuated a form of dependency and undermined local governance. By ending its reliance on German military support, Niger has the opportunity to reassert its autonomy and strengthen its national institutions without external interference. This move can be seen as a bold assertion of self-determination, resonating deeply with the broader African struggle against neo-colonialism. As Niger navigates away from traditional Western alliances, it opens the door to diversify its diplomatic relations. The junta's pivot towards Russia and Iran, while controversial, represents a strategic effort to explore alternative partnerships that do not come with the same historical baggage of exploitation and control. These new alliances may offer Niger more favorable terms of cooperation, focusing on mutual respect and benefit, rather than the asymmetrical power dynamics often seen with Western nations. This shift can potentially lead to more balanced and equitable international relations, fostering a sense of dignity and empowerment for Niger and its people. The end of German military ties also holds economic implications. Western aid and military support have historically come with strings attached, often influencing domestic policies and financial priorities. Freed from these constraints, Niger now has the opportunity to pursue economic policies that align more closely with its national interests and development goals. By engaging with a broader range of international partners, Niger can negotiate better terms for investment and aid, focusing on sustainable development and infrastructure projects that directly benefit its population. This move towards economic independence is crucial for building a resilient and self-sufficient nation. Niger's shift away from Western influence can also strengthen regional solidarity and collaboration within Africa. As neighboring countries like Mali and Burkina Faso undergo similar transitions, there is an emerging opportunity for these nations to unite and address common challenges collectively. By fostering regional alliances and cooperative frameworks, African countries can develop homegrown solutions to issues such as security, economic development, and governance. This regional approach can reduce reliance on external powers and promote a more integrated and self-reliant African continent. The withdrawal of German forces necessitates a reevaluation of Niger's security strategies. Rather than relying on foreign military presence, Niger can invest in building and modernizing its security forces. This shift can lead to the development of a more capable and autonomous defense infrastructure, better suited to address the specific threats and challenges faced by the nation. Moreover, it encourages regional cooperation on security matters, allowing African nations to collectively address the root causes of instability and conflict without external intervention. The end of Germany and Niger ties marks the beginning of a new chapter for Niger, one characterized by greater sovereignty, diversified partnerships, and a focus on national and regional priorities. While the transition may come with challenges, it also offers a unique opportunity for Niger to redefine its role on the global stage and pursue a path of true independence and self-determination. By embracing this new direction, Niger can contribute to the broader African movement towards liberation from neo-colonial influence and the creation of a more just and equitable world order. Do you think a good future awaits Niger? Will isolation from the West be the goal in the first place? What would happen if the ties ended forever? This moment should be seen as a chance for Niger to reclaim its sovereignty, diversify its diplomatic and economic relations, and strengthen regional solidarity. This pro-African perspective underscores the potential for Niger to forge a new path that prioritizes the interests and aspirations of its people, free from the shadow of Western domination. If you found this discussion thought-provoking, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share your thoughts in the comments below. How do you see Niger's future unfolding? Can Niger thrive without Western influence? Let's continue this conversation together.